This is the Wikipedia page for 420, Cannabis Culture. Welcome to WikiListen, the podcast where we read Wikipedia pages and provide commentary. I'm Victor Varnado, KSN.
And I'm Rachel Teichman, LMSW.
All right, 420 Cannabis Culture. I don't know how this page, which is not that long, can possibly cover everything. Luckily, we have somebody who can help us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Cantrell.
Hello.
Hello, Rob Cantrell.
Hey.
What's up?
What's up? Wikipedia. Nothing much. How's it going, Rachel and Victor?
It's
Thanks.
going very well. Thank you.
Fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Drinking a green and chai tea here and ready to read some Wikipedia.
Let's get to it. Here we go. 420 or 4/20, pronounced 420, is cannabis culture, slang for marijuana and hashish consumption, especially smoking around the time 4:20 p.m., and also refers to cannabis-oriented celebrations that take place annually on April 20th, which is 420 in U.S. form. In locations in the United States where cannabis is legal, cannabis dispensaries will often offer discounts on their products on April 20th.
Origins. In 1971, 5 high school students in San Rafael, California used the term 420 in connection with a plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower.
Wait. Are you about to tell me that the use of 420 is basically the plot of the Goonies? Is that where it came from?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please continue. But this sounds like the plot of the Goonies.
All right, here we go. Because their typical hangout spot was a wall outside the school, the 5 students, Steve Capper, Dave Reddix, Jeffrey Knoll, Larry Schwartz, and Mark Gravich designed the Louis Pasteur statue on the grounds of San Rafael High School as their meeting place, and 4:20 p.m. as their meeting time. The Waldos referred to this plan with the phrase 420 Louis. After several failed attempts to find the crop, the group eventually shortened their phrase to 420, which ultimately evolved into a code word teens used to refer to consuming cannabis.
Is this real?
This is lore. This is what they call cannabis lore. But I do like the Waldos, man. They were just dudes that hung out by the wall. And that's why they were called the Waldos. I think I was, and that's where Waldo is. He hangs by I never knew Waldo hung by the wall.
No, I didn't. This is crazy.
We found him.
Yeah, we found Waldo. This is him. San Rafael. He was hanging out.
All right, you got the
Is it my turn?
Yeah,
it's
it
your
is.
turn.
This is hilarious because I know these cats. I know this is, I think, written by the editor of High Times, and this is him right here. Steve Hager of High Times popularized the story of the Waldos. The first High Times mention of the 420 smoking and a 420 holiday appeared in May 1991, and the connection to the Waldos appeared in December 1998. Hager attributed the early spread of the phrase to Grateful Dead followers. After Waldo Redux became a roadie for the Grateful Dead's bassist, Phil Lesh, whoever wrote this was really high.
I think
and
it might
so
be
am I
Redix.
why I'm reading this. But
I think it might be Redix, not Redux. Redix.
Redix. Yeah, the Redix. What is how to okay. And called for 4:20 p.m. to be a socially accepted time of the day to consume cannabis.
Which
it
only
is.
socially acceptable time.
The only.
It is actually Steve Hager. If you click on his link, he was the editor at High Times. I actually performed at the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam in 2007, and I was invited by Steve, and that was paid to write an article for them. But he's fascinating. He is this dude that lived in the Lower East Side, and he wrote the screenplay for Beat Street. That's a true fact. And that's where he made his first amount of money. And then he became editor at High Times. But he started the Cannabis Cup. He's like this old school Grateful Dead. All of this might be true, but he is a super stoner too. So, he's a great dude, but he's out there.
So what you're saying is he made a lot of green to popularize a lot of green.
What the hell are you doing, Rachel? What are you doing?
No, he was a showbiz guy. He was just like a writer in the Lower East Side. And he was a white dude in the 70s, and he hung out with Basquiat, and he knew all that whole scene. And then when hip hop popped, he wrote for Village Voice. And he was like the first guy to ever write about hip hop in the Village Voice. And then he wrote Beat Street, and then he became the editor at High Times. But I guess High Times was like the first place to talk about 420.
International Day for Cannabis-related protests and events. April 20th has become an international counterculture holiday where people gather to celebrate and consume cannabis. Many such events have a political nature to them, advocating the liberalization and legalization of cannabis. Vivian McPeak, a founder of Seattle's Hemp Fest, states that 420 is half celebration and half call to action. Paul Birch calls it a global movement and suggests that one cannot stop events like these.
On that day, many marijuana users protest in civil disobedience by gathering in public to smoke at 4:20 p.m.
Way to go, guys.
That is true. I've done that. As marijuana continues to be decriminalized and legalized around the world, Steve Delangio, a cannabis activist and founder of the California Harborside Health Center, notes that even if our activists were complete, 420 morphs from a statement of consciousness to a celebration of acceptance, a celebration of victory, a celebration of our amazing connection with the plant, and that he thinks that it will always be worthy of celebration.
Preach.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. He has two ponytails. He like wears them like Willie Nelson. But his dispensary, that Harborside Health Center, is like one of the best in California, one of the earliest. Like it was all up in the Bay Area. But he's fascinating, that guy.
I'm going to tell everybody out there who's listening, first of all, we're now coming to a list of things in North America. We're going to read this list. And I know a lot of people out there do like us reading lists. I'm not going to say we're going to hop into every list, but we're going to read this list. We're going to rapid fire, switching off. Here we go. In North America, North American observances have been held at many locations, including New York City, Washington Square Park in Manhattan,
Boston Common,
San Francisco, Hippie Hill, and Golden Gate Park near the Haight-Ashbury,
Santa Cruz, Porter College Meadows at the University of California, Santa Cruz,
Vancouver, the Vancouver Art Gallery, and Sunset Beach between 2016 and 2019.
Montreal, the Mount Royal Monument,
Denver City Center Park,
Ottawa, Parliament Hill, and Majors Hill Park,
Edmonton, the Alberta Legislature Building,
Boulder, campus of the University of Colorado, Boulder,
Toronto, Nathan Phillips Square and Young Dundas Square,
Berkeley, campus of University of California, Berkeley, on the Memorial Glade north of the Doe Memorial Library,
Mexico City, Mexican Senate under the slogan Lantern 420.
I don't know. Smoking weed in Mexico City, that sounds dangerous.
I've been to Mexico City. Our guide, I was working in a movie, and the guide for the movie was walking us around, and he had a gun on him like at all times.
Yeah. You got to have security. It's like 4 times of New York City. Yeah. So it's like, I just read that. Like Berkeley, I was like, I'd buy that. And then I was like, by the Mexican Senate? I don't know about, maybe.
I had an affair in Mexico City. It was great. Not an affair as in like I wasn't dating anybody at the time, but I just had a romantic affair with somebody in Mexico City because I'd hired somebody to help me with translation because in the script I had to speak 2 languages. And so someone was to help me. And then the woman that I ended up hiring, like we just hit it off and hung out. And then we just had a romantic thing while I was making the movie. It lasted for like a week.
That's a lot more romantic than some of my encounters.
Yep.
Yay.
That was an odd, humble brag, but I'll enjoy it, and it does sound like a film. You should write a script about that, and I would definitely watch that.
Well, it was fun though.
The filmmaker and the translator.
It was fun. Yes, I am
a Christian sexual.
I am bragging that I have at one point been romantic with a woman. That's true. I get it.
In Australia, Australian observances have been held at many locations over many years, including Who Are We Hurting? Sydney City, Martin Place, NSW 2019.
420 Picnic 2019, Melbourne, Vic.
Hurting.
Who Are We Hurting? Sydney, NSW 2018.
Who Are We Hurting? Sydney City, King's Cross, NSW 2017.
That sounds like they get caught smoking weed. And that's the title of the thing. Who are we hurting? They're like, you can't smoke weed around here at King's Cross. Who are we hurting? Elsewhere, events have also been held in Hyde Park in London, in Dunedin, New Zealand, in the University of Otago. Okay, I bet they got a great football team, I heard.
In Ljubljana, Slovenia, the
I got Slovenia.
Yeah, thanks. In Ljubljana, Slovenia, the University of Ljubljana student organization has carried out several annual cannabis-themed protests that have contributed to the debate on cannabis status in Slovenia and the subsequent legislation proposals in 2018 by gathering responses from various political parties in Slovenia and ranking them accordingly. Thank you for not putting Ljubljana in that again.
That was impressive, Victor. That was a good one right there.
In northern Cyprus, known for strict drug laws and intolerance to cannabis consumption, the first 420 event was held in the capital city, Lefkosa, in 2015. On April 20th, 2017, a small group of protesters carried out an event near the Parliament building and made a public statement demanding the legalization of cannabis sale, consumption, and production with state regulations.
Other impacts: traffic safety. Despite 2 studies reporting a supposed increase in the risk of fatal motor vehicle crashes on April 20th, further investigation and analysis found that evidence did not support such claims. All right,
there we go. Yeah.
Whoever wrote this, definitely had both sides covered on that one.
Stolen signs. Further information. Street sign theft.
Prediction.
Signs bearing the number 420 have been frequently stolen. In Colorado, the Colorado Department of Transportation replaced the mile marker 420 sign on I-70 east of Denver with one reading 419.99 in an attempt to stop the thievery. However, the folklore of the 419.99 sign has caused it to be stolen too, as well as becoming a tourist destination. As of August 2018, the sign was missing, presumed stolen.
You are the most simplest tourist if you go to a place just because there's a sign.
Well, it is so funny. The Colorado DOT usually will not replace signs that are repeatedly taken, but began the practice of replacing further down the road after 69-mile marker signs are frequently stolen. These were replaced with 68.5-mile ones.
No 69s around here.
No 69ing allowed.
No 69 around here. You guys are going crazy.
The Idaho Department of Transportation, ITD, replaced the mile marker 420 sign on U.S. Highway 95 just south of Collier, of Alene with mile marker 419.9. The Washington State Department of Transportation, WSDOT, implemented similar measures, but only replaced one of the two 420 signs in the state, with the remaining one being subsequently stolen. According to the Washington Post, there are 11 420 mile markers in the U.S. after 3 replacements and 1 stolen and not replaced. In Goodhue County, Minnesota, officials have changed 420 Street signs to 42X Street. The mile marker 420 sign on U.S. Route 89, the only 420 marker in the state of Utah, is frequently stolen.
Legislation and other government recognition. In 2003, California Senate Bill 420 was introduced to regulate medical marijuana use in deliberate reference, citation needed, to the status of 420 in marijuana culture. An unsuccessful 2010 bill to legalize cannabis in Guam was called Bill 420. A North Dakota bill to legalize cannabis was HB 1420, introduced in January 2021.
The Marijuana Freedom and Opportunity Act, which, if enacted, would decriminalize and deschedule cannabis in the United States, was announced by Senator and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat, New York, on April 20th, 2018. On January 9, 2019, H.R. 420 was introduced into the 116th Congress by Representative Earl Blominer, my good old friend, Congressman Earl Blominer over there, from a Democrat from Oregon. Oh, yeah, those Blominer, Oregon. The Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol Act, which is designed to remove cannabis from the Controlled Substance Act and return regulation to the states. Well, good on
That's
Earl.
actually not a bad name. Regulate marijuana like alcohol. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and the stoners get that.
The state of Colorado auctioned off several cannabis-themed personalized license plates in 2021, with the bidding to be closed on April 20th, 420. Way to go, Colorado. The highest bid shortly before the auction closed was over $6,500 for I Sit 420.
Or is it 420?
Or is it 420? Oh, sorry. I Sit 420. Is it 420? That makes more sense.
But it needed a question mark. I'm with you, Victor. I
can tell you once that the guy, what's the guy's name who used to be in Soul Coughing? He's a musician.
Mike Doty?
Okay, so I was talking to Mike Doty about making a music video for him, and then in the music video he describes writing on this woman's windshield, "There is an us," like I think he's like, seducing her or whatever, writing on a windshield like "There is an us." But I was like, haha, that spells "there is anus," and then we didn't go forward with the video because I was too funny. I was like thinking of funny things to go in the video, and he was like, no. So "there is an us" becomes "there is anus," by the way. If you look at it, because I wrote it down.
Anus.
Go ahead.
Following the success of Washington, D.C.'s Initiative 71 to legalize cannabis in 2014, Mayor Muriel Bowser granted license plate number 420 to the campaign's leader, Adam Eidinger.
Literature. Several books about cannabis have 420 in the title, including the Cannabis Cookbooks, the 420 Cannabis Cookbook, published by Simon & Schuster, and the 420 Gourmet, published in 2016 by HarperCollins.
Right on.
Why is it always one word, HarperCollins?
Maybe it's a brand.
I think it's a brand.
Probably.
It's a brand of books.
If this episode comes out on 420, if you're listening to this in the morning, you can watch us perform live, me and Rob Cantrell, tonight. Also, it is a performance and party where Rachel Teichman, LMSW, will also be there too.
I'll be in
So
attendance.
go to
True.
dynamokingdom.com, or if you want to just go straight to where you can get your ticket to watch live, go to worlds420party.com.
Happy 420,
Happy
friends.
420.
I love you.
We're performing at Dynamo Kingdom. Love you all. This has been the Wikipedia page for 420 Cannabis Culture with Rob Cantrell.
Thanks for listening to WikiListen. You can find us at wikilisten.com and on all social media at WikiListen, except for Twitter, which is at wiki_listen.
If there's a Wikipedia page you'd like us to read, please let us know.